sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's simple. Just go to Reaver.1 and click on the SHR TV button. I had my mind on something else. You can also go to YouTube, search SHR TV, and while you're there, click the subscribe button. And last but not least, you can go to Facebook and search Reaver of Common Sense. It's that simple. Oh, how's everybody doing? It's a Friday night. Should be out partying, but I'm getting too old for that. Getting too old for that. See, I'm starting the yawning already. Damn. Some days I will, and some days I won't. Some days you feel like it. Some days you don't. Making sure everything's up and running. Today was a good day. Hopefully it was a good day for everybody, too. Except I had a nagging headache like an hour ago. I started getting it. It's one of my neck headaches. And it's not that bad that I can't do the show, so... I fell asleep on the couch right before the show, and I guess I'm still trying to wake up. There we go. All right. I saw this, and I was absolutely amazed on this article. Player's memo to the league blames police for death of Trayvon Martin. So... 4 NFL players submitted a 10-page memo to the league's top officials asking for overt league support and a month of anti-police activism. Okay. NFL players, 4 of them, want the NFL to commit November to being an anti-police protest month. Do these players not want to continue to get their big paychecks? I mean, they're close to losing massive, $200 million in advertisement fees. And without those advertisement fees and all that, you're seeing empty stadiums all over the league. And if they want to do that, hell, they will piss off what's remaining. It's like, damn, are you that dumb? Oh, man. I don't see the sense in it. But the 10-page memo was obtained by Yahoo Sports and was endorsed by Seattle Seahawks Michael Bennett, Philadelphia Eagles Malcolm Jenkins, Eagles Torrey Smith, and former NFL player Anquan Baldwin. The memo was sent to the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and Executive Vice President of Football Operation Troy Vincent. Bennett has sat during the national anthem during games and raised a fist on the field after making a play in protest of the police. The memo asked for the league to make the month of November as a activist awareness month, such as the league does with breast cancer. The memo also blames police for the shooting of Trayvon Martin. How the fuck do you blame the police for Trayvon Martin? For those that don't remember, Trayvon Martin, who was shot and killed in a 2012 by a neighborhood watch volunteer, George Zimmerman, not the police. Since 2016, police have shot over 300 men and women in this country. Some of the names and stories are familiar. Jordan Edwards, Trayvon Martin, Elton Sterling, but hundreds of others are not. Sorry about that. Anton Sterling was shot by police while trying to draw his gun during a struggle with police officers. The officers who shot Jordan Edwards was fired and indicted. To be clear, we are asking for your support, part of the memo reads, according to Yahoo Sports. We appreciate your acknowledgement on the call regarding the clear distinction between support and permission. For us, support means bear all or part of the weight of hold up, give assistance, especially financially, enable to function or act. We need sports, collaboration, and partnership to achieve our goal of strengthening the community. There are a variety of ways for you to get involved, similar to the model we have in place for players to get involved. There are 3 tiers of engagement based on your comfort level. To start, we appreciate your agreement on making this an immediate priority. In your words, from protest to progress, we need action. Michael Bennett made news when he lied about being racially profiled by Las Vegas Metro PD the night of the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight. Bennett wrote on Twitter, Las Vegas police officers singled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than simply being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Las Vegas Metro showed video which provided that officers were responding to a call about an active shooter in a casino and assisted many black males in getting out of the area. When officers saw Bennett, he was hiding behind a slot machine. When officers turned toward him, Bennett ran out of the casino and leapt over a 4-foot barrier into traffic. He was detained for about 10 minutes while officers determined he was not involved in a shooting. Video shows that Bennett lied about other parts of the encounter. Now, in response to this, Las Vegas Police Protection Association Metro sent a letter to the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell asking for an investigation and appropriate actions to be taken against Bennett. The league has chosen to back Bennett despite his obvious dishonesty. He outright lied about the situation, and Roger Goodell's, oh, that's okay. We'll just ignore that. And if he goes and allows... Roger Goodell's already pretty much sealed the NFL's fate. Roger Goodell's going to be the commissioner of the dying football NFL league because he has allowed this to go on. He has allowed these protests to go on and piss off the customers. He's allowed employees to piss off customers, and he sat there with his thumb up his ass. These teams have allowed it to happen. And you know who it's going to hurt? It's going to hurt the players themselves because guess what? The teams are not going to have the money, which means salaries go down. And if they don't go down, that means teams are going to go out of business. And if they allow November to become this anti-police, they'll try to spin it some other way. I know they will, but it is what it is. The truth always comes out. Just like in Chicago. A Chicago gun control activist went and got a gun. Went and got a permit, concealed carry. The whole kit and caboodle. A gun control activist in Chicago got a gun and justified it by saying her community is too dangerous to live in without one. The activist, Camelia Williams, got a concealed carry permit. But she sits there and wants these laws put in place so that nobody else can get them. Now, according to NPR, Williams grew up living on Chicago's South Side and was personally impacted by violence at age 9. When she was hit in the head with a brick, she became involved in a gang activity, acquired a gun at age 12, and lived violently until she had a son at age 18. At that point, she decided to make a change. She moved away from the South Side, got a GED and a college education, and began lobbying the state for Illinois for more gun control. Knowing that what she was doing was illegal, she wasn't following the current laws. So what's to stop a criminal from just ignoring that the gun laws that they put in? But it's just funny that, she's traveled to Washington, D.C. to press members of Congress to pass more gun laws. And Williams continues to lobby, yet NPR's Chip Mitchell reports that Williams has two things most people would not expect a gun control proponent to possess: a gun and a concealed carry permit. Moreover, Williams makes it clear she is ready to use her gun if she has to. She said, quote, I just know that I would probably retaliate. Williams tells the story of how an 18-year-old recently shot her 11-year-old with a BB gun, and she went to the 11-year-old's house to confront his mother. In that moment, Williams said she seriously considered doing something she counsels others against. She considered grabbing her gun. Williams says people who see inconsistency in her campaigning for gun control while owning and carrying a gun do not understand the dangers of the neighborhood in which she lives in. So she has a right to protect herself, but nobody else does. That's the issue. But Williams misses the fact that this is a very similar argument to those Michael Bloomberg-funded gun controllers make when they campaign for gun control, then show up to the Women's March surrounded by armed protection. Whether living on the Chicago South Side, the wealthy suburbs of D.C., or Michael Bloomberg's well-fortified mansion, gun controllers who spend their time benefiting from guns while campaigning against guns for others necessarily lose credit. That's why Fox News' Tucker Carlson told a Bloomberg apologist that he will not surrender his guns until Michael Bloomberg does. Williams obviously sees the benefit of gun ownership. Perhaps she will pivot from gun control and add her voice to the growing number of black women who are taking a stand for gun ownership for self-defense on Chicago's South Side. This is the lunacy that is the left. They're programmed to be against certain things while they do it. They preach against sexism and, we got to stand up for feminism. And what do? They degrade, belittle, and attack women that don't agree with them. They're against racism. Well, except if you're a black conservative, then it's okay to be racist towards them. Got to do away with all the tax loopholes, except the ones that they use. Got to follow all the laws, except they're exempt. It is a culture of do as I say, not as I do. And it's ridiculous time and time again with these stories. You have Michael Bloomberg surrounded by armed guards as he preaches nobody should own guns. Does anybody see the issue with that? We have our politicians up there surrounded by armed personnel telling us we shouldn't be able to own a weapon ourselves. I don't understand it. I don't. They say the Democrats bitch about ID cards for voting. The voter ID cards. It's a constitutional right. But yet they'll be the first ones that want you to jump through hoops, get God knows how many cards, and ID cards for this, and ID cards for ammo, ID cards for your gun, and ID cards for your rifle, your ID cards for your nuts. You know, that's okay. Because we're keeping people safe. But keeping the election safe is not okay. Somehow that's racist when people are dying because of these ID cards. We have criminals that keep getting guns, bringing them out on the street, carrying them, committing crime with them. Does anybody see the hypocrisy in all this? And it drives me up a wall. It's so obvious, but yet they can't see it. Sort of like they complain, Russia hacked the election. We got to do something about it. All right, let's look into the election and see exactly what's going on. Oh, no, we can't do that. Okay, why not? You just complained that there was an issue with the election. We're going to look into it. And only if we look at Trump. So you don't want to look at the actual election where, how, and where it might have got hacked? Nope. We can't look at the roll. That tells me something big is up. The Democrats know they're in the wrong. They talk so much double trash, it's not funny. I don't know. Is this the human race, how dumb we've become? I thought we were supposed to be becoming smarter, and it seems we're getting dumber. And this is, hence the show, Reaver of Common Sense, Death of Common Sense. For those that don't know, Reavers in old mythology were bringers of death. It's death of common sense. Common sense tells you if it's okay to have ID cards for one constitutional right, it's okay for the rest. How long before they say we have to have an ID card for our free speech? We already got to get permits for free speech. But just as long as we don't have to do anything for voting. That's when you know this country is in deep shit. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making. In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, I'm ready for bed. Anybody else? That's when you know you're getting old. Oh. So Chelsea Handler's in the news again. I mean, this woman is not the brightest bulb on the Christmas string. She praised North Korean leader Kim Jong-un She praised his warning letter to President Donald Trump this week, writing on her social media account that the threatening letter sounds a little bit more sane than Trump and suggests the two countries trade leaders. Does she not understand how he is torturing his people, how he is starving his people? And I don't mean like a psychological torture because he got elected type thing. No, physical torture, murdering. She wants to give up a republicly elected president and wants a dictator. A person that you have to say is a god, or you get put to death. You have to say and think that Kim Jong-un is a god, and she wants to trade leaders. This is how retarded, window-licking, helmet-wearing retard of a woman she is. And I think she just got the year award. And Netflix pays her money to do a show so she can spew this crap and praise a dictator, an actual dictator. Just because Kim called Trump a gangster fond of playing with fire, does this woman not fucking realize that he is threatening to nuke not only United States, he is threatening to do it to South Korea, he's threatening to do it to Japan and Guam. He has been talking crap, trying to start a war. But yes, I see where you have a problem with Donald Trump. You cum-guzzling bitch. Damn. Sorry about that one. That one was wrong to say. But that one just pisses me off. She wants to bring a dictator. Oh, that's right. She was an Obama fan. I can understand what she's thinking now. She is just... Kim Jong-un said a frightened dog barks louder. I'd like to advise Trump to exercise prudence in selecting words and to be considerate of whom he speaks to when making a speech in front of the world. He's trying to puff his chest up because he got embarrassed in front of the UN. This is the same woman who called black conservatives Stacey Dash and Ben Carson black white supremacists. Now, if that was a conservative that said something like that about a liberal, holy shit. The person would be locked up and flogged and stoned to death. Well, I was thinking about getting Netflix too, but after reading more and more about this bitch, hell no. You know what? They're actually saving me money now that I think about it. Because I won't pay for HBO. Even if they give it to me free, I don't turn it on. I will not turn HBO on in my house. And now, fuck Netflix. Because whether you support her or not, you buying Netflix or paying for it monthly, part of that money goes to her. Trump says he would totally destroy North Korea. Yeah, if he was president of North Korea. No. He's responding to threats. He's defending our country. This shows you how stupid liberals have gotten. The 40s. And she's known. Do you know what she's known for as a comedian? She has sex with everything that moves. And she writes about it. That's her thing. She's written, 2 books about her sexcapades? She's been banged more than a screen door in a hurricane. This is also the same woman that in August called the U.S. military to forcibly remove the president from office. But yet she's the one talking about dictators and thinks that Trump's the dictator. Does this woman even research what she's talking about? I don't understand where these idiots. Here's one last one. Handler goes and attacks Melania Trump because her English, she has a heavy accent. How many languages does Handler speak? What is she known for? Handler's known for cracking jokes and fucking guys. Where Melania Trump's known for, a model and business. She was a millionaire before she met Trump. She has her own money. She speaks 5 fucking languages. I thought, isn't that, making fun of somebody's ability to speak English? I thought that was being insensitive and xenophobic. But it's okay when liberals are racist or sexist or xenophobic. It's okay. It's okay when they're violent. Everything's okay when liberals do it. That's what criminals say. That is exactly what criminals say. They justify their illegal actions. It's like Bloomberg. At first, Bloomberg Global Business Forum in New York, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg asserted that social media platforms have to be more aggressive in fighting fake news. Bloomberg believes that if stopping the spread of fake news means that Facebook has to read every message, that it is Facebook's problem, not society's problem. He said that the proliferation of fake news is not all their fault, but they have a responsibility. And if they say, well, there's no ways to do it other than maybe we're going to have a human being read every message, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do that. Talk about Big Brother watching you. That's what it is. That is Big Brother watching you. And that's what Bloomberg wants. They're trying to control what you see, what you hear, what you read. And the liberals want to control it. Now, Bloomberg compared it to other system of regulation, which he said makes banks responsible under law to make sure that they don't launder money, and telephone companies responsible to know where calls come from. The former mayor said that he assumes what he reads in the newspaper is true, saying that supposed Russian interference in American politics is as bad as attacking our countries with weapons and is killing democracy. Yeah, the only problem is it didn't fucking happen, you half-witted moron. I'm getting so tired of that. This is not the first time that Bloomberg has brushed off privacy concerns in the name of security. In an interview with the New York Daily News in 2013, he addressed concerns about drone surveillance by saying that the argument against using automation, it's this craziness, oh, it's Big Brother, get used to it. Bloomberg's argument led to Atlanta to label him a surveillance state extremist, calling him out for claiming that with rising level security, our laws and our interpretation of the Constitution have to change. I never thought I'd hear the day when I would say these words, but holy fuck, we're turning into 1984. We are. It's scary. Okay, why the hell did that do that? For some reason, Siri just popped up and asked me, what do I want? I don't want nothing from Siri. A Yale University student published in September found that flagging stories as fake news had little impact in readers deciding whether an article was true or false. Slapping down a big logo also doesn't do anything, psychologist David Rand admits. People do find mainstream media outlets particularly credible. You know what putting that flag on is going to make people read it more. It's going to get people into it even more. It's that, like drugs, man. I don't want to see drugs legalized, but that does give it a little mystique that makes people curious about it. Putting that label puts a little mystique and has people wondering about it. So they go looking into it and start reading it. People, they want to say, oh, there's fake news, all this fake news. And you know what? It was like over 80% of the fake news websites that were put onto Facebook was owned by one liberal. He did it not knowing he was going to cause this big stir, but so his liberal website could counter all of the arguments and seem like they know what they're talking about. Look at this, we countered that conservative site. When the whole time it was one liberal, and he admitted to doing it. But no, they like to skip over that fact. They skip over that. This fake news thing. I know we have fun with CNN, and CNN's got caught giving a lot of fake news. During the hurricane recently, they had Anderson. I think it was Anderson. Chest high water. They're filming him. There's a shot from behind the cameras that show the camera. He was standing in a ditch that was filled with water. Everybody else is ankle high water. He's in a ditch to make it look like the water's higher than it actually was, to get that drama shot. I'm putting my life on the line for everybody. Look at me. Facebook's known for it, or CNN's known for it. But yet they want to point the finger everywhere else when they are the fake news of fake news. I don't know. Maybe the human race, this is our doomsday. Maybe this is our doomsday. I don't know. We're close to it. We keep going like this, it's not going to be a good thing. And then I made a comment earlier, I called Chelsea Handler a cum guzzler. That was wrong of me, but I've never, woman wants to have sex, go have sex. But that woman, that's what she's famous for, writing books. She's bitching and complaining about dictators, and she wants to have a dictator come take over the United States. Just how stupid can you get? You get liberals that are wanting, Facebook. Facebook is a social media site for people to speak freely. It's supposed to be connect and talk freely and exchange different ideas. But it's turning into how can we control what you're thinking and reading. And that's scary. It is. It's also that time. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey expansion is here. We have gone to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. Just go to Reaver.one, click on the SHR TV button. You can also go to YouTube, search for SHR Media, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button while you're there. And last but not least, you can go to Facebook. Well, just search for Reaver of Common Sense. Oh, it's... I don't know. I don't know where the hell we're heading in this country. It's not a good place, though. And what's worse is we got people actually getting their political advice from comedians, talk show hosts, and one of them is Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel has been talking about the health care. Problem is, he doesn't know that much about that fucking health care. He doesn't know more than the next asshole next to him. What he's been doing is getting talking points from Chuck Schumer. So, of course, he's going to hear that it's all this negative crap. Of course, he's going to hear all the lies about it. Chuck Schumer is doing everything he can, along with John McCain, to save Obamacare. They're trying to stop the repeal of Obamacare. They don't care that it's fucking over everyday Americans. It makes them feel good because they were told it helps. So that's what they do. Jimmy Kimmel talks about his child with that birth defect at birth. That would have been covered even before. That would have been covered. Because let me tell you something, you dumbass. Sorry excuse for late night talk host. My daughter was born with kidney problems. Guess what? It was covered. And yes, before you say it's not the same, that kidney problem could have been very life-threatening. Turned out all for the better. Everything turned up good. Best case scenario came out instead of the worst. But everything was covered by health insurance. Just like your child with the heart defect would have been covered. So you're out there spreading outright lies about stuff that you don't know about and stuff that you're being fed false, fake information for political purpose and political gain. But you don't care because it makes you feel good that you think you're doing something right because you're trying to protect this failing health care bill. And you're not smart enough to see just how much of a failure it actually is. It doesn't affect you, so you don't see how much of a failure it actually is. Because people like you only see as far as the end of your nose. That's all you care about. The Daily Beast reported that Schumer's office provided technical guidance and info about the so-called Graham-Cassidy bill, as well as stats from various think tanks and experts. By the way, those think tanks and experts are hired by Schumer and part ownership of Schumer. So, of course, they're going to be negative. You mindless, teleprompted reading, sorry excuse for a comedian. Jimmy wanted to learn more about what was going on politically and policy-wise. The Daily Beast quoted a source as saying, and he wanted to fight this thing. The host of ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live reportedly attacked the bill, and one of its co-authors, Senator Bill Cassidy, a Republican from Louisiana, over 3 episodes this week. At one point, Kimmel claimed that Cassidy had lied to my face when the senator appeared on the show to discuss health care. Cassidy responded Thursday morning telling Fox and Friends that Jimmy doesn't understand. He's only heard from those on the left who are doing their best to preserve Obamacare. He's not heard from me because we have not spoken. There was no immediate comment on the report from Schumer or Kimmel, who took to Twitter Friday afternoon to praise Senator John McCain for announcing his opposition to the bill. Thank you, John McCain, for being a hero again and again and now again. Yeah, as you've railed against him for years, and now that he's got a fucking brain tumor and he thinks he's a goddamn Democrat, You think he's a hero. The only thing John McCain's doing, and he's been overheard fucking saying it, the only reason why he's voting against it, because he doesn't want to see Trump succeed, because Trump did what McCain never could do. He won the presidency. McCain is acting like a jealous 13-year-old. He couldn't do it, so he's not going to help anybody else succeed. He doesn't care about any of us. He hasn't cared about vets since before he got captured. And I don't mean to speak bad about a vet, and I was brought up not to. But you can only take that vet status so far. He has screwed over vets every chance he's gotten. And that's pissed me off because now the Democrats, that's what they're trying to do. Trying to get a bunch of Democrats to run, or vets to run as Democrats. That's how we'll win elections. These people, they'll just vote for us because we're going to run vets. I'm serious. That's how sick Democrats are. They think that just because the person's a vet, we're going to blindly vote for him. I have respect for every single vet. But I'm sorry. If you're going to the Democrat Party, I got some questions. The Democrats have not backed vets in God knows how long, so why the hell are you going there in the first place? It's your freedom and everything. I understand that, but it makes me question your motives. But yes, that's what the Democrats are going to do in 2018. They're trying to run, I think it's like 60 vets. 60. They think that's how they're going to take back the House and Senate right away. We're just going to run vets, and we'll win all those elections. I don't know. It's a sad state. Kimmel catapulted himself to the forefront of the debate over public health in America this spring when he discussed his son's heart condition in an emotional monologue. He used his son's heart condition. Everybody thought he was being sincere talking about his son, but he used it for political purposes. That was sick. McCain, they talk about the 25th Amendment. Well, we ought to start wondering about some of these elderly senators that, well, they don't sound exactly with it and their health. You got a brain tumor. I don't know if you should be handling national fucking security. I never liked John McCain. Even when he was running for president, I didn't like him. I didn't trust him. And when I voted for him, I said I had no idea who Obama was. I knew McCain. I knew he was going to fuck us over. At least I'm voting for the evil that I knew. It sucks nowadays. This country's going the wrong way. I've said it before. I don't know if we can turn this country back around. I really don't. And it scares me. I mean, holy shit. Ooh. What the hell was this article on? Seeing if there's a sound bite to play real quick. Of course not. Don't have many sound bites tonight. Kind of sucks. So during the break, I was telling my wife, reminding her I got to get her to do that promo. I really have to get her to do that promo, otherwise BZ's going to kick my tuchus. I promised them I'll have it done. And I am going to do everything I can to make sure to have that promo, the new promo, done. All right. Nothing there. Try to look for something real quick. I don't want to start the next topic until after the break. I got a couple minutes to kill. I don't know if I put this in. But let's talk about this real quick. A U.S. cancer patient denied stem cell transplant by federal government. A California woman is fighting for her life, yet risks losing her battle against cancer because American immigration authorities refuse to allow her sister to travel to the U.S., tragically preventing the patient from getting the life-saving transplant she needs. A Vietnamese-born mother of 3 was diagnosed with severe form leukemia in February 2017. Despite her devastating diagnosis, doctors were convinced they would be able to save the woman's life. To beat the disease, they would need a stem cell transplant from any donor that had a 70% match. Now, according to Washington Post, the sister is in Vietnam, happened to be a 100% genetic match, but has been barred from entering the United States for the procedure. U.S. officials say they fear the sister would remain in America after her medical visa expired and have denied her application 3 times. Evidence may come in many forms, but when considered together, it must be enough for an intertwining office to conclude that the applicant's overall circumstances, including social, family, economic, and other ties abroad, will compel him or her to leave the United States at the end of the temporary stay. Regrettably, the sister was unable to establish to satisfactory of the interviewing officer that her employment, financial, and family situation in Vietnam constitutes a sufficient ties to compel her to depart the United States. I'll tell you this right now. That is wrong. That is outright wrong. She should be allowed to be brought in, heavily watched, and made sure that she leaves. I don't see where that one is any good for anybody. I think it's some policymakers going overboard with protocols. What else do we have? Oh, so many. Oh, Megyn Kelly, her NBC show. She hopes for a Trump-free zone with her new NBC show. Megyn Kelly says she left Fox News Channel to bring more joy to her life. NBC hopes that starting Monday, she can spread some to the network and its viewer. The former Fox News Channel star and Donald Trump foil debuts her talk show at 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Nestled into the 4-hour Today show block and competing in most of the country with Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest live. Kelly hosted a Sunday night news magazine this summer to meddling ratings, and it returns next spring. It's the daily talk show in the lucrative morning market that will ultimately determine the wisdom of NBC News' decision to hire her. She promises that Megyn Kelly Today show live with a studio audience will be an information-packed hour with a sense of fun. It'll be very similar to the Today Show, but we're going to have a lot more elbow room, she said in an interview. Ellen DeGeneres initiated Kelly into daytime TV this week by having her awkwardly toss pizza dough, stuff herself into a fat suit, and dance with the audience. Kelly smiled and played along. It was a long way from her Fox life of pressing the future president at debates. and during her Twitter taunts and being the ringleader for an hour of politics each weeknight. The truth, Kelly said, is that she's not political junkie and cable television is all about politics. I don't want to talk about Trump all day. In fact, the bar is very high for Trump coverage. If you want Trump, you could watch virtually every channel in the country and get Trump nonstop. I think people are looking for a break from that. Not just Trump. It's inside the Beltway. I don't want to talk about Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. Live with Kelly and Ryan is a celebrity and entertainment-oriented TV show. Kelly said her program will be uplifting and more substantive, and recent trial runs had segments on reacting to the Equifax breach and protecting yourself from attacks, mental health, bullying, coping with divorce, and tips for jobs interview are the types of topic she'll cover. Not news, but not fluff either. She couldn't make it once Trump came along, so now she's trying to find a new career. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to speak, to make sense out of this senseless. Oh, it's going to be a long weekend, hopefully. That's a good thing. So the Mueller team is under fire. Finally, someone's firing back at this jackass. He's under fire for his brass knuckle tactics and a bid to squeeze Manafort. And that's all that was. That whole no-knock, let's sneak in his house, put guns in his face of his wife and kids. It was a thing to scare the crap out of him to get him to flip and testify against Trump. Even if they made up shit, they wouldn't care. As long as he did that, that's what they were after. But guess what? Didn't happen. But when a report surfaced that federal agents picked the lock on Paul Manafort's front door for a surprise raid over the summer while the former Trump campaign chairman was in bed, it was also a wake-up call for prominent Houston attorney Tom Kirkendall. Here is the United States citizen where the FBI is coming in, picking his lock, and raiding his home in the early morning over what? It doesn't matter which side you're on. It's just crazy. We are not the Soviet Union. It's appalling, said Kirkendall, who has worked on cases involved one of the special counsel's key investigator, Andrew Weissman. Now, think about this. FBI did a no-knock on someone that's being investigated for winning the presidential election. They say he colluded. There's one problem with that. There's no law against, even if he did. I don't want to see him say I don't think he did. In fact, I'm positive he didn't. But even if he did, there's no law against it. And here's Mueller sending his FBI agents in there, guns blazing, to get some files. That was excessive. That was a force to try to get Paul Manafort to flip. The intensity of the focus on Manafort is widely seen as a potential effort by special counsel Robert Mueller's team to pressure him into providing information on others, possibly President Trump himself, in the Russian probe. But the brass-knuckle tactics have raised eyebrows in the legal community. The Manafort investigation has been the subject of numerous leaks, including new details about the so-called FISA warrant reportedly used to eavesdrop on his calls last year. Warrants issued by the FISA court, which stands for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, are supposed to be highly secret. It is not at all common to reveal a FISA warrant publicly, former Attorney General Mike Muskie told Fox News. FISA warrants are obtained for the purpose of gathering intelligence, a purpose that obviously would be defeated by revealing a warrant publicly. The leaks could be coming from any number of sources due to a multiple ongoing investigation on Capitol Hill, as well as the special counsel probe, in addition to the dissemination of sensitive information by Obama administration figures in the final days. But former federal prosecutor Andrews said he wouldn't be the least bit surprised if some of the leaks were coming from the special counsel. Look, they clearly went out of their way to intimidate Manafort with the brass knuckles way they did the search of his Virginia home. They are trying to squeeze him, so I would not put it past them to use leaks if they think that might help increase the pressure on Manafort to flip. But we don't have slam dunk evidence that they are behind the links. There are other signs of unusual aggressive tactics in this investigation. They clearly went out of their way to intimidate Manafort. The New York Times, which reported on how agents picked the lock during the July raid, also said Mueller followed up with a warning that his prosecutors planned to indict him. Fox News reported last month that the raid lasted 10 hours and involved a dozen federal agents who seized documents labeled attorney-client, according to a source close to the investigation. While Mueller has assembled a legal team, one of its most prominent investigator is former U.S. Attorney Weissman, who had overseen a series of controversial prosecutions that ultimately resulted in dismissed convictions and formal allegation of prosecutorial misconduct. For example, when Weissman was leading the Enron task force, he sent former Merrill Lynch executive William to a maximum security prison in Omaha, 700 miles from his wife and 2 small children in Denver. Williams spent the next year behind bars before being released on bail. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals later ruled that there was no evidence upon which a reasonable jury could find that he violated the law, and his conviction was vacated. When contacted by Fox News, William and his attorney refused to be quoted on the case, citing the anxiety caused by the experience. But Kuykendall told Fox News it's deja vu with what's happening against Mr. Manafort. Williams and his family lost a year of their lives because of a completely misguided prosecution. Weissman also helped prosecute Anderson's Consulting, which led to a conviction of his firm, its eventually closure, and loss of 28,000 employees. In a highly unusual, unanimous decision, the Supreme Court later overturned and dismissed that conviction as well. That was a tremendous example of horrifyingly prosecutorial misconduct, Kuykendall said. Weissman at the time denied there had been any intimidation of witnesses. There is no factual basis to the allegation, he said in 2002. It's just not true. Former federal prosecutor Sidney Powell was so outraged after a case involving Weissman that in 2012 she filed a formal complaint of prosecutorial misconduct with the Texas Bar and the DOJ Office of Professional Responsibility. The complaint alleged witness threatening, withholding exculpatory evidence, and the use of false and misleading summaries. After the review of the complaint, Obama's administration OPR found no ethic violation. Now a Dallas-based federal appeals attorney, she wrote a book about the experience called License to Lie. She still maintains Weissman and his taskmasters made up a crime, alleging the team gave the defendants false and misleading summaries of what witnesses had told the government. Powell sees similar tactics with the Manafort probe. They will do whatever it takes to nail him instead of investigating crimes. They're trying to pin a crime on him, she said. Hang on. Now, I'm going to go back in time to when I was 20. I was working for Armored Car Service. We had an incident. Bag was lost. Bag of money was lost. FBI was called in to investigate. When I was supposed to be just giving my statement, it turned into a full-fledged interrogation by the FBI and a detective from the New Jersey State Police. I was never offered an attorney, never asked if I wanted an attorney. The one that really got me was I think it was in December. I just remember the detective, the FBI agent, turning to me and saying, I don't give a shit if you're innocent or guilty. I think I have enough evidence I can nail you with it. And that's all I care, to close the case as fast as I can so I can move up in rank and so I can get home for Christmas. And he said it with a straight face. He did not give a shit. Now, side note, funny, several weeks later, he's still investigating. He starts asking for my help. And I abruptly told him to go fuck himself. I tried to be helpful, and he tried to, as he said, just prosecute. Wanted to find me guilty. No, didn't care whether I did it or not. So, you know what? I could see Mueller doing something like this. He doesn't care. He's got to find somebody guilty of something in connection with Russia. That's his only job. He's not out there to find out the truth. He's out there to find someone connected to Trump and have them prosecuted. That's it. And if along the way he can get Trump, even the better. He should not be in that position. It is a conflict of interest that's going on. Him and Comey are little butt buddies. And he's there because he's pissed off that Trump fired Comey. And he doesn't care who's innocent and who's guilty. He will prosecute. He will ruin their lives. Because it's just another notch in his belt. And let me tell you, they're not out there. A lot of them are not out there for justice. They don't give a shit. They want to move up. And they know the only way to move up fast. Oh, shit, I just closed something out that I wanted to. No, I didn't close it out. They'll use whatever tactic. They don't give a shit. They're the FBI. They think they can get away with anything. So President Trump right now is giving a speech at a rally for Luther Strange. And the one thing that caught me off guard, it didn't catch me off guard. He turned around. We have to be loyal in life, Trump said. There is something called loyalty, and I might have made a mistake, and I'll be honest, I might have made a mistake. And he goes on to talk how both men are good men and that he will back more if he wins the primary. The reason why he is backing Luther Strange is he says that Luther Strange has been backing him in the Senate and he's trying to give loyalty to him. He also feels that Luther Strange has the better chance of winning against the Democrat. He's not sure that Moore can beat the Democrat challenger in election. But he said he will back Moore if Moore wins the primary. I can understand, and I can give a little bit of props. A lot of people have been on him. But I can understand he's also trying to play nice with McConnell. He's trying to get McConnell to get his ass moving. But what he has to understand is these men, these politicians, do not have that code of ethics with them. It's always what can you do for them, never what they can do for you. They will use you and screw you over the next chance. Hell, look at McCain and Lindsey Graham. Close friends there, backed each other for years. Traveling around the world together. Kane screwed him over first chance he got. I don't know. It is what it is, though. The bill's not dead. there's still a slim chance. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, the Mueller tactics, they just went way overboard with that. But it shows their mentality and their desperation to me. Because they are getting desperate. Now, militant Antifa group announced nationwide deface Columbus Day. Following multiple attacks of vandalism on Christopher Columbus statue since August, a militant Antifa group has announced Deface Columbus Day on October 9th as a coordinated campaign to deface and destroy more historical monument. In Yonkers, New York, a Columbus statue was beheaded on August 30th. Antifa vandals were also responsible for the destruction of the oldest Christopher Columbus monument in the nation on August 21st. Vandals left a message, racism, tear it down, and the future is racial and economical justice. On September 20, a New York-based Antifa group calling itself Revolutionary Abolitionist Movement put out a press release on far-left extremist websites like It's Going Down to call on their comrades elsewhere in the United States. Notice how they call themselves comrades. But they are calling on to take action and decorate their neighborhoods and parks. The group published a promotional video for the event. Oh, let's see if I have that. Let's see if I have that. Come on, where is it? Oh, where? Oh, where? Come on. Come on. Man, I'm just not doing any good luck with that today. Ooh, do I? I might have it. I'm waiting for it to load up. Yes, I have a promotional video. Let me download it. On this computer, load. Message 1. See if I can find it this way. I got to click on this story just to see what it is. 5 stories that the establishment media killed this week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. We're going to talk about that next coming up. It's going to be a quick one, but let me get this video down. So if you're watching the live stream on YouTube or Facebook, you'll be able to watch it. If not, crap. They never make it easy. Hang on. Let's see. See if this one will download it. I know, I was bad. I didn't have this up and running, did I? Nope. Is it here? Trying to find where it's actually stationed at so I can... I want to... Nope. Hang on. Gonna check one last place. site allows me to download this. Drum roll, please. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Got it. Persistence. Oh, what the hell? For some reason, it's not downloading. Why the hell not? There we go. Now I got it. I know. I'll talk to the computer sometimes when I'm doing shit like this. So let me pull this up. Which one do I need? That one. Gotta rush. So remember, this is a video put out by Antifa about destroying our monuments and playgrounds. All right, again, if you're on YouTube, it's going to show the video. If you're listening on SHR Media or through Spreaker, it'll just play the audio. What the hell? Come on. Technical difficulty here. Let me see something. Yeah, right there it is. All right. So we want to go 5, isn't it? All right, here it is. We're going to start it now. I wasn't paying attention. Has anybody noticed on all their flags, the same colors that are used with Nazi flags? Anybody else notice that? I just... It's the call from revolutionary abolitionist movement for more vandalism follows woke outrage against Renaissance period explorer who discovery of America initiated immigration to the New World. As the Daily Caller previously reported, the New York-based revolutionary abolitionist movement currently hosts anti-police workshops in the city for Antifa members with calls for violence against the police, armed insurrection, and other revolutionary actions. First reported on Far Left Watch, the press release on its going down includes the following text. Where is it? The battle lines have been drawn, and white supremacists are on notice. White nationalist statues are crumbling all over the United States as our collective revolutionary power is growing. As the monuments of white supremacist societies fall, we must continue to make it clear that their reign of terror is coming to an end. For the occasional Columbus Day, October 9th, one of the most vile holidays of the year, the revolutionary abolition movement is calling for collectives all over the country to take action against this day and in support of indigenous people in the United States and abroad who have been victims of colonialism and genocide. We're calling for groups to decorate their neighborhoods as they see fit, put up murals, wheat paste posters, drop a banner, etc. On October 9th, put a picture of your action on social media and use the hashtag below. With these actions multiplied around the country, we will make it unequivocally clear that revolutionaries will always stand with the indigenous. Revolutionaries' greetings to insurgent Zapatista group, the Lakota Warriors, and all our indigenous comrades in the struggle. With these actions, we renew our commitment to building a revolutionary movement strong enough to turn the tide permanently. The extremist communist movement proposed the use of hashtags like Fuck Columbus Day and Destroyed Colonialism on social media to promote widespread awareness of their action. And they keep talking about indigenous. Native American Indians are not actually Native American Indians. They're not from America. They are Asians. They migrated from the Asian area. And how did they take over areas? They conquered it. They killed people. They killed other tribes. It's, oh my God. Why am I even talking? I think I'd get more success talking to a wall. Definitely would. Definitely would get more intelligent conversation talking to a wall than talking to these idiots. Now, I also saw that thing, 5 stories the establishment media killed this week. And, of course, they're going to kill it because it made their movement look like idiots. Keith Ellison says illegal immigration opponents are more or less Nazis. Talked about that early in the week. Talk about a leap. This is Ellison, who tried to distance himself from past associations with the Nation of Islam, has previously claimed that American Jews are mobilized by Israel to do its bidding in America. MSNBC, CNN, The Washington Post, The Wall Street Journal, and The New York Times have yet to cover this story. The shocking new allegations in the Imran Awan case. The scandal around the House Democrat IT staffer keeps growing. Florida Democrat Rep. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. As the Daily Caller News Foundation reported on Tuesday, police report says Imran Awan allegedly abused 3 different Muslim women, with one of them telling police she felt like his slave, and another saying Awan kept her in captivity. Officers found a 3rd woman bloodied and saying she just wanted to leave. Established media outlets have largely remained on the sidelines throughout the Awan scandal development. And they continued that trend this week. None of them covered the shocking new allegations against Awan. The 2-parter for Maxine Waters. 2 stories broke this past week regarding California Democrat Rep. Maxine Waters, who crusade to get Trump impeached has received positive coverage in the media. On Wednesday, news broke that Waters has turned a eulogy for deceased comedian Dick Gregory last weekend into a lecture about her efforts to impeach Trump. She was given a eulogy at a funeral and said nothing about the deceased. She just went on a tirade about Trump. I heard it on the radio today. One guy was saying he's going to get one of those donor cards that says, if I die in a car accident, you can use my organs for to be transplanted. He wants to get one that says if he dies, he does not want Maxine Waters giving a eulogy at his funeral. I want neither. On Thursday, Waters suggested that Democrats are willing to invent a reason to impeach Trump before guaranteeing that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia. Waters cited no proof of collusion in her claims. She later brushed off questions about whether the president had committed impeach-worthy offenses. And her statement was, impeachment is whatever the Congress says it is. There is no law that can dictate impeachment. What the Constitution says is high crimes and misdemeanors, and we define that. Bill Clinton got impeached because he lied. Establishment media outlets refused to cover either Waters story this week. Jimmy Kimmel wants to pound a Fox host. The media gave positive coverage to Jimmy Kimmel this week for using his show to emotionally lobby against the Republican Graham Cassidy health bill. Kimmel threatened to pound Fox News host Brian Kilmeade over the bill, calling Kilmeade a phony little creep. On Thursday night, Kimmel called Louisiana Rep. Senator Brian Kennedy an inbred over his health care position, and the establishment media ignored both details. But think about this, all this name-calling that's going on. But they go after Trump. But they ignore their own doing it. Do as I say, not as I do. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Now, this one I can't make sense out of. California cities sue oil companies over climate change. And if this judge does not strike down these fucking lawsuits as fraud, this is what's going to put companies out of business, because you're just going to see these groups start suing. Just filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit to where it's not financially feasible for them to be in business. And that's what they're trying to do. But the city of San Francisco and Oakland, California, sued 5 oil companies in 2 coordinated lawsuits on Tuesday, arguing that the court should hold these companies responsible for climate change and force them to financially compensate the cities for harm the plaintiffs claim those companies are causing to the planet's environment. The 2 cities are suing 5 of the top petroleum companies from around the globe: BP, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, ExxonMobil, and Royal Dutch Shell. These local municipalities are suing them under California law for being a public nuisance. The lawsuits use virtually identical language, like accusing the oil companies with language such as, for decades, defendants have known that their fossil fuels pose risk of severe and catastrophic impact on the global climate through the works and warnings of their own scientists or through their trade associations. The city's complaint impinged the worst possible motives to the oil companies, comparing their actions to sustain propaganda campaign to deceive the public to encourage fuel consumptions at levels that, as defendants knew, were certainly to severely harm the public. I'm losing brain cells as I talk about this lawsuit. The lawsuits are demanding money from the companies on a scale to offset all of the effects of climate change in those cities. While the lawsuit does not provide specific amounts, the plaintiffs could advance theories that would claim that those numbers are in the billions of dollars. By bringing these claims in the county court in San Francisco and Alameda, the city's attorneys are setting them on a legal course where the justice of the California Supreme Court, a reliable liberal court, would ultimately decide the financial liabilities of the oil company. One immediate step the oil companies could take is to remove these lawsuits to federal court. They can invoke a federal district court diversity jurisdiction under 28 U.S.C. 1332 because the plaintiffs are from different states or nations than all of the defendants, and the amount being sued for exceeded $75,000. Such a move would take any appeals to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth District Court, where critics would fear the chances of a left-wing outcome, but would also preserve the option that the final word on this case would ultimately come from the U.S. Supreme Court instead of the California Supreme Court. The lawsuit file, the first lawsuit, is the people of the state of California. It goes into a lot of mumbo-jumbo in the Superior Court of San Francisco, then the Supreme Court of County of Alameda. Now, see, California is doing it. This is how they work. They're now also suing the federal government to stop the building of the wall due to environmental study for environmental studies. Open Borders California Attorney General filed suit in federal court in San Diego Wednesday, seeking to have the courts block construction of President Donald Trump's promised border wall. In the 53-page, 11-count complaint filed with the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of California, joined by the California Coastal Commission, is asking for the wall to be stopped on the basis of federal environmental protection laws. The suit filed against the Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol targets DHS' announced plan for the wall construction in San Diego, California area. It threatens to tie up yet another Trump administration immigration priority in the courts. The complaint relies on federal environmental laws, including the National Environmental Policy Act and Coastal Zone Management Act, among almost 30 others. In essence, California is arguing the effect by the Trump administration to waive these acts' extensive demand on the project on the border are illegal. The state, home to the country's largest population of illegal aliens, wants the full extent of NEPA environmental impact studies and demonstration of compliance with the Coastal Commission, California Coastal Management. They're throwing a hissy fit because Trump is using a federal law that exempts them from these studies. What they're trying to do, they're going to try to lock this up in court for the next 4 years to 8 years. It's, oh my God, it's a joke. So, national security now rests on California suing to block a federal law that's been in since what, the 80s or 90s. Hang on. Also got MMA fighting. It seems a boxer or MMA fighter just got popped in the nuts. But I question, because the guy did it before, and it looked like a pretty good hit to the stomach. I don't know. But yeah, California is just, you know what? I thought they were succeeding. I thought they were leaving. I thought they were going off on their own. When are they doing that? But it's funny, when they had those storms and all those disasters, they came running to Uncle Sam for help. They just deducted. That's bullshit. The guy lost the point. The boxer is fucking faking it with the nut shots. So any shot that's low, all you do is grab your nuts and play. Oh, I'm hurt. Let me tell you, this guy's running around. If he got banged that bad in the nuts, he ain't running around that quick. California's just, it's turning into... They make laws that their politicians admit are against the Constitution, and they don't care. They don't care about laws. They're ignoring federal immigration laws. They don't care about that. They're putting national security at risk. They don't give a fuck about that. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. But I know they're one of the biggest problems out there. But President Trump, in Executive Order 1376-7, gave DHS and CBP broad authority to get the wall project moving under, among other sources, the 1996 Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act. California is arguing that act, despite specifically authorizing physical barriers be built along the southern border, is not broad enough allow the administration to overlook the harm that it may cause to the state from construction. Now, they already have God knows how much fucking wall up. They're complaining about more wall and replacing some of the walls with better walls to be put up. It is right in it that's it specifically authorized physical barriers be built along the southern border. Well, that's not specific enough. Oh my fucking God. The complaint also asked the court to review DHS and CBP action as arbitrary and capricious under the Administration Procedure Act. Much of the claim damage to California from the wall project concerns national resource and wildlife. Elsewhere, however, the wall's very effectiveness on human is cited as a problem. The complaint argues, for example, that the executive order is invalid for the effect it will have on California tourism from Mexico. I just... California prides itself on its open and welcome nature to citizens and non-citizens alike. It is this nature that helps drive the state's strong tourism economy, especially from Mexico, our neighbors to the south. The Department of Justice is likely to respond to the lawsuit with a motion to dismiss, which will be due before the court in 60 days. Wednesday filing is hardly the Attorney General's first attempt to derail the Trump immigration agenda, claiming to know the true value of diversity. The Attorney General taunted the newly elected Trump to come to us in December. Since then, he has been conducting what One California describes as a long legal war against immigration enforcement and border security. This month, that war entered a new dogmatic phase when the Attorney General claimed without explanation that rescinding an executive order, DACA, was unconstitutional. That's how stupid they are. He rescinded a unconstitutional executive order by executive order, and it's unconstitutional, you fucking moron. How dumb can you be? Well, they keep showing just how dumb they can be. All right, that's going to be the show today. I want everybody to be safe this weekend. Have a great weekend. Haven't said it in a while, but I want to remind everybody I appreciate every single one of you. I love being here, talking to you guys, explaining some of this, what's going on, and just giving you my opinion, what's going on. With that, have a great weekend. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.